This is a test. This is a test. This is a test.
When the Soviet Union invaded Afghanistan, we had this brilliant idea that we were going to come to Pakistan and create a force of mujahideen, equip them with Stinger missiles and everything else to go after the Soviets inside Afghanistan.
He can have dreams of the, I mean, on the scale of prophecies, I'd say I'm a 1 or a 2, whereas Jesus and the like could be.
Nothing's a prophecy. You can't. Rationally, there's no way you can prophesize it, anything, other than by coincidence and by pure, luck or something.
Well, I would have maybe believed that, Sid, but knowing my auntie, she can tell me stuff that's going to happen, right? And to be honest with you, she's always right most of the time. And specifically, that happened a week after I spoke to her.
A week after what?
I spoke to her. She told me something, and it happened.
I don't know what that is.
For me, the door to prophecy opens up when prediction is sort of taken to its limits. If you think about prediction, we know that there's a 24-hour cycle to our day. We've fine-tuned our measurements of the days, where we can now predict when the sun's gonna rise and when the sun's gonna set. And we would call that a prediction, though, not a prophecy. Where prophecy takes over from prediction, and I think there is a predictive element to prophets. I mean, all the prophets of the old time, I think their brains were geared up for seeing patterns in life and predicting future events from that. But then the prophecy side of it comes in when there seems to be something at the human psyche, at the heart of the human psyche, or the brain, or the imagination, that then enables that prediction to go a step further and actually see sort of visions of things that will happen. And I mean, like I say, I mean, I don't class myself as a prophet. I've experienced the deja vu phenomenon, and therefore I'm open-minded. And when I read about people that have had visions and clairvoyance and things like that, I'm more open-minded than the average guy, because I know, yeah, I've had that stuff happen to me where I've seen things in the dream and then it's happened in real life. So I know, but like you said, I mean, there are totally loads of charlatans out there, but the genuine ones, the easiest way to tell the genuine ones are they generally aren't selling anything. They're not selling you an hourly service for like £40 an hour or something, you know? People with what I call the gift will use it wisely and not for financial gain. They sort of try and help and comfort people.
Mm-hmm.
But Sid's right, there are charlatans out there. And there are some that are gifted that do sell their services, you know. There's no...
Also as well, right, you're saying there's charlatans, and there are, right? But there's also people out there, it's a shame actually, because They think they have had experiences, but they go there thinking they're mediums and they're not developing very good. More like Man is one of the top mediums in Scotland. But some people are trying to be nice and help people, but they're not doing very well and they're not good with the gift they've got.
Yeah. I mean, it's like one of the arguments that non-believers sort of bring up about prophecy. It's like, oh, well, tell me, if prophecy is real, then show me someone that can tell me what the lottery numbers are going to be. Right. And that's not really how it works. It's not, you're not stepping into the future like a video game where you can control where you go and what you see. And, you know, I couldn't fast forward to next Friday and watch the lottery numbers being pulled out in the machine.
Believe it or not, mediums and really good mediums could never tell you that either, because what happens is they only get told what they get told from spirit. They don't get told anything other than what they are informed about, and they can tell you.
And you find a lot of the messages you're talking about, Amy, have got a reason behind them. There's some sort of ulterior aim. There's like a spirit will come with a message to console someone or something, you know. It won't come to prove the essence of the spirit. You know, spirits won't make themselves seen just so that you'll believe in spirits. That's dynamic.
Bulldog was screaming the place down at me right last week. They were saying your auntie never fucking told you your dog was dying.
Yeah.
Well, Auntie didn't tell me because the spirit never told her. You know, there's certain things that the spirit won't tell you.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, even genuine clairvoyants will hold back information, even if they do see it for that reason. My mum went to see a clairvoyant when we were kids. I was about 12. My brother was about 9. Yeah. And the clairvoyant says, "Look, what I'm about to tell you is." It might worry you, but I'm only telling you because I don't want you to worry, because your son is going to be fine, right? And she went on to say her youngest son, which was my brother, is going to have a car accident, but my mum's going to see it, and she says, I'm only telling you because I don't want you to worry. She says you'll know when it happens, obviously, but just don't worry, he's going to be fine. He won't even have a mark on him, right? Anyway, I think it was about 6 months later or something. My mum was sat in the front window at home watching my brother cross the road with his bike, and my brother noticed my mum in the window, got distracted and walked out in front of a car. And the car hit the bike, scooped him up, he went right over the car and landed on his feet at the back. And he didn't have a mark, a scratch on him or anything. The bike took the impact and just scooped him up over the top of the car. And you know, like how, I mean, that's too specific. You know, a lot of people say, well, clairvoyants, they're just cold reading. They'll bring up things that can be sort of manipulated to fit anyone. You know, that's a lot of the argument that people dismiss. How can the clairvoyant tell my mum about the accident, knowing that my brother won't even be hurt, but that my mum will be petrified because she's going to witness it? You know, that's pretty damn specific. But the thing that scares me is she says your oldest is going to, I see your oldest either in the Air Force or travelling, some sort of long distance travelling, and it's going to be, I see him in a boiler suit, right? Now, this was before 9/11 in Guantanamo Bay. And honestly, I thought, oh my God, because my mum...
A boiler suit?
Yeah, a boiler suit. My mum took it as, oh, the eldest son's going to be in the RAF, because I was at Air Cadets at the time. And I don't know, that one still hasn't come true, but there's still hope for me at Guantanamo Bay. Honestly, when 9/11 happened and I seen all them boiler suits, I thought, fuck. Yeah, so that's where I'm going to end up.
What you said there about the clairvoyant telling your mum that, well, man, it doesn't go into that kind of thing, right?
Well, that's what this woman said. She says, I normally would not tell you. If I saw that your son was going to have an accident and die, I would not tell you because there's nothing we can do about it. And you're just creating stress for no reason. That was her exact. But she says, I am telling you because I want you to know he's going to be fine. But you're going to have like the shock of your life because you're going to witness it. And she says, I want you to try and remember this when it happens and think, right, it'll be right. My mum didn't. She freaked the fuck out, ran out into the street, and he was fine.
This is why, man, he would never tell you something like that.
Yeah.
What would happen, the aftermath there, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I've had deja vu dreams where I've been places, dreamt about it, been there, it's playing out in real life, and I've became aware of the deja vu, and I've broke the path of what happened in my dream. I've come to consciousness of like, oh my God, I've dreamt this before, and I've walked away from the situation. So I also now know that sort of opens the door to me that these prophecies aren't always 100% determined. You can have a precognitive vision of something, and then when it's playing out in real life, you can actually still change the event. It's sort of, I think it's a reminder in the gift that, look, everything is not predetermined. God needs us to actually make these steps consciously. You know, the universal divine essence, whatever, God, for want of a better word. It's in us all. It is it's in the fabric of humanity, our imagination, in music.
How can you possibly claim that?
Well,
because it echoes, it
how can you possibly claim that God anything?
God seems to then. I'm not really making
listen, like I said before, you are and Amy, Amy and I, both, all three of us have exactly the same access to knowledge and exactly the same freedom to use our logic and reasoning.
Hang on a minute, Sid. Just let me cut in for a minute. That's not strictly true, because I feel I've got a wee bit more knowledge, considering I have an auntie that is a spiritual medium.
Well, that's,
I think you're both right. I think
that's
right.
absolutely
We have got
no
the
proof
same
whatsoever.
I think you're both right. Sid's right. We have got the same. We're still living in the same universe. We're all breathing the same air. We're made of the same molecules and stuff, same atoms. Our brains work off the same electric principle. Blah blah blah. You know, we have all got access to that. But think of it like a library. We've all got access to the library, but it's up to us which books we're going to read and which books we're going to pay attention to. And I think, you know, I'm not saying that certain people are better than others because they're aware of this. We've all got a different role to play in it. But I think if you look through history, there's a reoccurring theme. And I think this comes back to your God being imaginary thing, the slogan you call it. I think you're onto something there. Whether you meant it that way or not, I think you really are onto something, because I think God is in the imagination. Yeah. But it doesn't make it any less true or real, because the imagination is real.
For anything you like. How do you think people came up with Star Trek and all this kind of stuff, right?
Well, yeah. Agreed, yeah. I mean, the Star Trek side of it, I find fascinating. I still think there's a divine element in that shows through humans with Star Trek and stuff.
There's no way you see that. You'll see that in Star Wars maybe, but you won't see that in Star Trek.
Well, I'm not talking specifically Star Wars or Star Trek. I'm talking about the space exploration side of things.
So you think that Isaac Asimov had some...
What I'm saying, though, is it comes from our imagination, doesn't it? We're imagining things could be out there. Well, when you take that to the extremities, then we start going into what's this God thing?
Okay, well, what about time travel? Does that come from the imagination or not?
Well, that's sort of, I mean, time travel
it comes from the imagination, and you also know 100% that you can't actually achieve that. It's just imaginary.
Well, we don't know, Sid.
Yes, we do, Amy.
Well, isn't it theoretically possible if we travel greater than 10 times the speed of light, then we'll loop back on ourselves and I can't remember the figure exactly.
No, because you cannot
travel fast. That if you run...
Wait. You cannot travel faster.
You're back at the start line before you left.
PhanTom, you cannot travel faster than the speed of light.
Well, no, you can't physically, but theoretically, if we could, then you could start running now and you'd be so quick that you could run around the globe and still see yourself taking off from the finish line, from the start line. Do you know what I mean?
You'd run over yourself.
That theory, although we know it can't play out in fact, that theory is born from our imagination. So to me, that tells us our imaginations are able to conceptualize things that aren't possible.
Yeah, but you just said it was science that did that. It was a hypothesis that was based on science. You had the speed of light to sort of as your scientific fact, and then when you started to hypothesize, you said, okay, imagine 10 times the speed of light. Okay, so we've got something at least empirical to start off with. But when you're talking about your gods and your supernaturals and this and that, you've got nothing to base your futuristic thinking on. Nothing.
But that's where I disagree.
You don't have a starting point.
Everything is about, to me, everything, me, you, this universe, everything around us is part of a creation to me. And I think this is where the dividing line starts, in that word creation, because I'm already, I'll admit, I'm already sort of leaning towards a creator. But it's that is the universal question.
That's what makes it irrational.
Well, no, it's not, because it's perfectly rational to wonder why we're here, how we got here. I think that's the reoccurring thing through humanity. Humans have always been wondering, even isolated civilizations, which is why there were all these different religions. Even isolated civilizations start to wonder why we're here, what's the purpose of life, but the big questions that we may never answer. But that's where we start having to dig into our imagination to try to conceptualize the answers. I think what I'm saying is, Sydney's right that we don't know what God is. That
there is no God.
Religion, I mean, I've said before, I agree.
In your head, you've got a conception of God, and in Amy's head, she's got a conception of God. But they're absolutely 100% totally different.
But just because me and Amy don't know what God is.
And every other person in the whole world, has their conception of God. If whether they believe in a God or they don't believe in a God, there's still a conception. The thing is, when you take that conception and you say, hey, it's ridiculous, it's irrational, but I'm going to believe it anyway. That's when the kookiness comes out. I don't get that.
Sydney, we do all time travel. We all time travel in our imagination and our dreams every single day of the week. I can go and lie in my bed right now, shut my eyes, and think about another time where I was happy with my dog, or another time where I was happy with my mom, and think about that, and I can travel back to that time.
Right.
So we can all travel back time and whatever, We have all got it in our imagination and our dreams.
Yeah.
You go to bed some nights and you dream. I actually woke up crying thinking my mum's still alive.
Really?
Yeah.
So what's it got to do with anything, though?
But I'm just
you
saying
said you woke up from a dream that your mother was alive.
Time travel back to a better time in your mind.
For me personally,
absolutely, in your mind, that's not a problem. I've never had ever have a problem with it being in your mind, but at least acknowledge that it's in your mind and be done with it.
Well, yeah, that's what I said earlier.
I wouldn't be so easy to dismiss something just because it's born from your mind. I mean, I'm really starting to think that this whole universe materialized to host what we call the intelligence. What I'm trying not to use the word spirit, but the essence of humans is our imagination. It's not
an essence of human is our imagination. How do you come?
What I'm trying to say, I mean, exactly probably the wrong words.
What do you mean by essence, firstly? Let me just try and get that definition down. I don't quite understand.
Well, by the essence, I mean, what separates humans from other animals, other sentient beings? What sort of puts us above and beyond I really do
Nothing
think that
separates us. Nothing. The only thing that
no,
separates
it does
us.
have imagination and our
The only
ability
thing that
to
separates us
communicate.
was that we figured out how to use tools. That's it.
No, and talk and communicate.
Yeah, well, because
Well, you put them two things together, and what we've
because we
achieved.
figured out how to use tools and pretty much become top of the food chain or whatever.
Yeah, but all that talking and tools both come from the imagination, because we looked at a stick and thought, oh, if I had a point on the end of that, I could really do some damage to Fred next door in the cave.
It comes from trial and error. It comes from scientific investigation.
That science is a new
They were even doing science back in pre-caveman days.
not science as we think of it now. I know what you mean,
If
scientific.
somebody could figure out how to use a chipper and make a stabbing or cutting tool, that's science.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's not really my point though. What I'm trying to say is, it's this thing we call our imagination has been the kickstarter, the spark of inspiration behind everything humans have achieved. So why should we dismiss our imagination when it comes to the great question of God?
There is no God. I'm not saying dismiss your
Well, if I
imagination.
imagine a painting,
Imagine
there
all
isn't
you
a
like.
painting.
Imagine all you like, but understand that your imagination is not reality. It's just your imagination.
Do you believe that we have a spirit or a soul?
No,
You don't believe. Why do you not believe it, Sydney?
because there's no such thing.
How do you know that?
Because it's just a
Oh,
man-made
it sounded like
concept.
Darwin's
That's why.
Dawkins, Darwin's, no,
No, it's a
DD.
man-made concept.
How do you know that, Sid? How do you know that?
Yeah, can you trust your reasoning to come to conclusions about your reasoning?
I mean, it is a valid question. I mean, how do we know?
It's a bullshit question.
Do you think we have a soul or a spirit, PhanTom?
Yeah, I mean, the trouble with the word spirit is like Sid said, you say the word God, Amy will think of one thing, I'll think of another thing. You know, it's when you say spirit, people generally think ghosts and stuff, which I do believe that potentially we can impregnate in this time continuum, this timeline, energies. And I think there is some glitches in the matrix where ghosts will reappear in the future, because a lot of the more repeated ghost stories, the ones that lots of different people from different demographics have witnessed, seem to be repeating a process. Like you'll see a ghost walking up a staircase, and it's almost like there's some trauma happened at that time that impregnated something. I mean, I really don't know what I'd call it, but I think that, I think there's a spiritual essence inside humans that are behind design, a creation, and our ability to conceptualize God. And that's why I don't dismiss it. I mean, I'm coming from a privileged position. I'm not saying I'm special, but a privileged position where I've had deja vu dreams. I've dreamt of events before they've happened and then they've later happened. So for me, I've had all the personal proof I need to know that that phenomenon is possible. And then when I read the books and hear of prophets like Jesus and Muhammad, I now look at it as, yes, you can have dreams of things that are yet to come. And to build on that, you know, if I sort of stretch the bounds of what possibilities that could happen, then yes, external energies could visit you in your dreams. I mean, a book to read is The Art of Dreaming by Carlos Castaneda, because he talks about the levels of dreaming. There's like 4 gates to dreaming. The first gate is being aware that you're dreaming. Your second gate is where you can control yourself in the dream. You'll become aware you're dreaming, and then you can start to, right, I want to get down that corridor, or I want to open this door, or I'm going to turn around and see what happens. And then the third gate of dreaming is where you get invaded by external energies. They call them, some people reckon they're grey aliens that are using sort of remote viewing. Other people think they're angel, but it's a phenomenon that's happened to lots of cultures through history, like precognitive dreams and prophecies and visions, you know. I think there's a truth at the heart of it.
What I would like to say, right, about my auntie, for you, Sid, if you met my auntie, right, and she spoke to you for about half an hour or something, you would come away being quite sort of like shocked at what she was saying.
I doubt it very much.
Oh no, you would be. Seriously, you would be.
No.
Can I ask a question, Sid? And don't feel you have to answer it, but it would be good if you could. Without being specific, hold on, how can I word it? Right, do you think that a potential obstacle to you being open to there being a great divine energy, a creator, is regret? Might not be the right word, but because I don't know, like if we're to believe the Catholic Church, then we're all sinners in a way, ain't we? And what I'm trying to say is there an element of it where you don't want to believe in a God that's going to judge you? Just sort of see what I'm saying. It's like, who wants to believe in a God?
I don't think you understood when I said to you that God is imaginary. It means that there is none. So what are you asking me for if I have some kind of regret that about
regret a barrier to being more open-minded?
There is no God. There just is none. It never has been, never will be. It's not. It's just not. It's irrational. It breaks every rule of logic and science that we know. Other than in your imagination, it does not exist.
Well, you know, the other thing my auntie says, her being a spiritualist medium, right? She says to me, when I asked her, right, because I says to her, I'm in this great debate thing. She says, you're on that internet arguing with folk and blah, blah, blah. And I says, well, what do you think? And I explained to her about Jesus and the Bible. And my auntie says to me, the Bible's bullshit, right? What the Bible is like fairy stories and fables handed down for all these years, that's through arms, legs, heads and bums. And she says, in the Jesus thing, she says, Jesus was just a man like everybody else, if they existed. She doesn't know. But she did say there is a spiritual energy. He doesn't know what it is, whatever, but there is a spiritual energy.
Okay, can I talk?
Yep.
Okay. So PhanTom, you said that there are certain energies that repeat themselves over and over again. How come they never see a spirit fly, or an energy fly? How come they never see an energy fox or an energy wolf? How come they never see an energy bear? Explain that to me.
Hang on a second, PhanTom.
That's a bit of a loaded question.
Animals also.
Yeah, there are some animals that have been seen to go, especially sort of anything cat or dog size or bigger. I'd agree. I can't. I've never heard stories of ghost flies or anything. Although actually, insects are meant to be used by demons. You'll get infestations of locusts and stuff.
Yeah, but demons again are just.
But that's not really a ghost premonition. They're actually
imaginary as gods. You see.
I don't know. I think it's like Amy said. There's a universal energy at the heart of the whole universe, and it's in everything. The rocks, and it's definitely human. Hold on, but important. I think that
universal energy
is magnified in humans. I really do think humans.
That universal energy is everywhere, but among the flies, like you said. So no flies.
No, it's in the flies.
No ghost flies, no ghost beetles, no ghost.
What about in dead things? Is there universal?
I'd say it's just not in them flies to the same degree it's in humans or animals.
Universal energy in dead things?
Do you know what, right? I'm going to be seeing my auntie, right? She's on holiday in Malta at the moment for 2 weeks. So I'll be seeing her about the beginning of November when she gets back, right? And I'm going to speak to her about each of you here. And I'm going to say to her, do you know anything about these people, right? And I'm going to ask her your question down about the ghost flies. My auntie's only ever said that dogs and cats have came forward. And she knows, like, all my dogs have came forward. Obviously, she knows who my dogs are because she's my auntie. But like a friend of mine went in and she told her that she had 4 dogs and described every single one of them. So dogs do go there as well.
Yeah.
You know?
To me, it's like universal energy manifests itself amplified in humans, but it's there to a degree in all creation, you know. But yeah, you don't see rock ghosts, you don't see fly ghosts and stuff, you know, because I'm guessing now, but I'd say the energy frequency in such small living things isn't leaving that imprint on the timeline.
Okay. What about a what about a ghost bald eagle? Where are they at?
Well, yeah, birds are prolific. Birds are prolific for not so much ghosts, but
If you think back to the North American Indians, right? You think about like eagles and bears and things like that, what they wrote about and what they all sort of learned.
This is absolute nonsense.
How is it nonsense?
Because you have no evidence to back up anything you're saying, but you're saying that it's happening.
By what they said.
when you add the testimony together, it makes a compelling.
There is no compelling testimony. Nobody has said, "I've seen a ghost bald eagle."
I mean, the stages to this. I mean, it's easy to dismiss, but it's once you start.
It's easier to dismiss than it is to accept.
Well, yeah, offhand, yeah, I suppose it is. But then once you open up the door to precognition dreams are possible, and a lot of people witness ghosts, and once you add all these bits and pieces together, it does sort of indicate that there's something behind it. And you can even brush that all to one side and just think, look what us humans have achieved. Right, and it all stems from our imagination.
How about ghost bees though? Bees have a lot of energy. A fucking bee, they make honey, dude. Where are the ghost bees?
I don't know. Have you been around any old locations where there was a hive? Maybe there are, but we've just not seen them.
Oh, so we've not seen the ghost bees, but we've seen the fucking ghost cats and the ghost fucking dogs. You know,
I don't know. In fact, someone Google it. I'm busy at the minute, but someone Google it. I bet you there's a beekeeper there's a ghost story to do with bees and a beekeeper, and it will be the energy from the beekeeper.
So if there's a ghost story, it means that it's true. Like, you know, it means that it happened.
Exactly. Well, that's
I think I'm playing devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Well, we'll get my gherkin out.
And I wanted to answer, PhanTom, I want you to answer the question truthfully. Why do ghosts wear clothes?
Good point, actually. But I'd guess there, if the spirit is leaving an imprint in the space line, then that same impression would permeate the clothing. I don't know.
Okay. So do the clothes turn into ghosts?
Oh, yeah.
Down a spiritual vision can come to you dressed how it wants.
You haven't answered the question. Why do ghosts need clothes?
Exactly.
It's a joke.
And if they do those clothes get dirty? And also, right, do ghosts have money in their pockets?
No.
Well, how come they got clothes?
Money's nothing.
That's right. How come ghosts have clothes?
So clothes then? Why do ghosts need clothes?
Because in PhanTom's explanation, a fly, there are no ghost flies because flies have no energy, but your clothes have energy apparently.
Yeah,
Seriously?
You never said
What I
that.
am saying, I said not enough energy to leave the imprint in the timeline.
How does the pair of clothes leave an imprint in the timeline then? They're dead.
The energy is emanating from the person within the clothes. I've never
Okay,
seen,
so they had money in
I've never
their
seen
pocket
like
when
a
they
ghost
fucking
coat
died.
hanger.
So why didn't the fucking money turn into a ghost money?
I've never seen a ghost coat on a coat hanger. There's always a body
So
within.
in other words, what you're trying to say is ghosts don't get cold. They don't need coats to keep them warm, but they wear clothes.
We're not talking about ghosts here.
Yes, we were spirits and ghosts. That's what I heard him say. He was talking about ghosts.
No, he wasn't talking about ghosts. He was talking about the spirits.
All right, okay. Well, he said he sees things, and Down did say we never see any bees and animals or whatever, but we see ghosts as people.
I can't comment on the animal. The only animal I can comment.
Yeah, you know why you can't comment? Because you have no answer. You know why you have no answer? Because it's not true. It's all made up in the human mind. The human mind does crazy things on crazy people.
That's up for a minute. Let me speak. My auntie told me about my dogs, right? She's mentioned cats to people. She hasn't really mentioned any other animals or whatnot. So the next time I see her, in 2 weeks' time when she comes back her holidays, I'm going to ask her all about this.
Yeah, you ask her. If I remember correctly, I've got an appointment with her.
Yeah, and I'm going to fucking ask her something about you.
No problem, and make sure it's more than one question, okay? And I don't want you to come back and say, oh, he's going to have a problem with his car or something like that, because I've never heard of any car on the planet not breaking down. So I don't want her to come back and say, oh, he's going to have trouble with his car. All right?
Amy's going to speak to her aunt.
And I don't want her to say, oh, he's going to get sick one day. I don't know any humans on the planet who don't get fucking sick.
Amy's going to speak to your auntie, and they'll be digging
I know. I've already G'd it up. We G'd it up.
Bodies in his garden next week.
Yeah. And I don't want her to say, he's going to, there's some plants going to die around his fucking house. You know? We don't want generalised fucking statements like that. Like,
it's a good point.
I'm going to go to the fucking toilet the next fucking 24 hours, you know? I don't want any bullshit fucking generalised statements.
If
That would apply to everybody on Earth.
Right, listen.
If clairvoyance is bullshit, then why have the police used them in the past?
They don't. That's
Hey,
listen, they don't. There's been shit on TV about it. They don't.
Hang on a minute, Bulldog, please. I know this is probably live, so I can't actually say anything about this. But all I can say, what you just said there, the now PhanTom is true, right? My auntie has been involved with the police, and I can't go into any detail because I don't know.
Yeah, she never solved the case. That's right.
No, Bulldog. Oh, no. I'm not going to speak about it live. I will speak about it personally, but not live.
Yeah, tell us about her failed attempt at solving the case.
No, it wasn't failed.
Yeah, listen, we had a program here on TV, ran for 12 months, and they all had fucking clairvoyants and fortune tellers and the whole bullshit. It was called Are You the One, right? And guess what? They had dozens and dozens of these people, right? And guess what? They all failed. The only thing what they got right was it was a lucky guess. And it basically whittled them all down. There was no more guesswork involved. It's like you either find it or you don't. It's like when they sent like a dozen of them out to find a fucking person in the woods. Of course you're going to get someone walking in the right direction because you just fucking spent a dozen people walking out. And they all walk out in different directions. Right? And then they hide someone in a fucking shipping container on the wharf, right? And there's 200 containers on the wharf, and they can't find the fucking container where the fucking hidden person is. Yeah, when it gets too hard, they all fail. And this program was on TV for everyone to see the fail and fail and fail, right? Apart from a lucky guess, which most of the time it was, right? And you see them failing and failing and failing. There was another one, there was another one where they got a dozen people out of the audience to throw their fucking car keys on top, and they said to the clairvoyant or whoever, they gave them all a chance, they says, pick up the keys, who the owner was. Guess what? They didn't even get a 50-50 success rate. It was like a 95% fail. They couldn't even work out whose car keys belonged to fucking who.
Bulldog.
You got no answer to that, have you? You got no answer to the failures. You only look at the hit. You don't look at the missing.
Somebody to go into a fucking room and pick up somebody's key, even if they had a fucking psychic medium, and he would turn around and say, are you kidding me on? Piss off.
It's like give us the lottery numbers again, isn't it?
Hey, they don't do that.
Yeah, no. 12 fucking sets of car keys aren't fucking aren't lottery numbers. Hey, if people if they reckon, oh, I know the owner to this and I know the owner to that, or give me a pair of shoes or whatever, it sounds like you said, like they can't find nobody in the fucking woods who's dead, right? If you can't do that, stop making claims that you can. Opposed to a lucky guess.
Listen.
It's already been debunked over. It's been on TV. Debunked. Right?
Fine, you believe what you believe, and I'll believe what I believe. Because I tell you,
Yeah, I know, but your beliefs are wrong. Okay, well, they're no more than fantasy facts. Okay, right? Listen, there's charlatans all over the place, and a lot of them, all of them have been debunked. James Randi has got, hey, listen, he's got $1 million on offer. Don't tell me money doesn't mean anything and all the bullshit to get out of the experiment. He's still got the $1 million. His offer's on the table to anybody who can prove anything, even water dividing, right? Even something like what they used to use years and years ago, and it was all bunk. Everything bunk.
PhanTom, what did I say to you earlier?
Bulldog's a twat.
Yeah, I'm a fucking, yeah.
No, I think to you, right?
I'm a twat who gets it fucking right. You're a fucking twat who gets it fucking wrong.
Hang on a second. I said to you earlier, PhanTom, man, he doesn't do it for money. And I think there's a lot of people out there that do the sort of medium, psychic medium, and they're a wee bit sort of like that Christie. Remember her? She was like in the right mind. She was nice enough, but she thought psychic medium. But she was like lost upon the way. She wasn't trained proper in doing what man he does. And I told her that, but she had good intentions, the girl.
Hey, listen, I don't know how your auntie is going to do a psychic fucking thing on me when, number one, she can't get my car keys, and she doesn't know me from a bar or so, and you're going to fucking ask her questions about someone she's never met, never talked to, nothing.
Give me your phone number and I'll get her to fucking phone you and speak to you.
Hey, listen, if she's a psychic fucking medium, she should be able to guess it.
No, this is where you're making it all wrong.
And guess what? I don't want the whole 8 numbers. Just give me 4 numbers. Give me 2 in the front and 2 in the back, and we'll see. We'll start from there. If she can get those 2 right, I'll give her the fucking middle numbers and I'll call her.
There's some people mad can't get a reading of, right? There's some that she looks at and she's like, nah, I can't do anything here. I'm sorry.
Yeah, cool. Oh, okay. So is that your fail-safe card? Oh, I can't do nothing with this person. Really sorry. Move on. Next person. Okay, that's a failure.
Usually that's happened. Also, there was one guy that went to Mandy once, and she thought it was an evil. There was something horrible and evil about him. She could not even speak to him. So there you go.
Oh, right. So you're using that as your fail-safe card to say, oh, well, I couldn't get through. Oh, I'm really sorry. Yeah, I know. There's always a get-out-of-jail card free somewhere along the line, isn't there?
Okay.
Like I said, they came on national TV. They debunked themselves. They got put to the tests, right? And they all failed, right? They all failed dismally. I thought to myself, we won't see those people around for much longer. That'll put them out of a job.
Okay.
There was even some person in England, I can't remember her name. She used to get thousands of dollars a year. I can't remember. She was in England. She was some fortune teller, right? They even debunked her. They set her up, and she got fucking debunked.
But Sid, PhanTom and I weren't talking about what you're talking about now earlier. You were talking about spiritualism and stuff like that. You're just making it explored into a pile of fucking shite that's on the TV.
Oh, okay, so everything what's on TV is all shite. Okay, no problem, yeah, okay. Well, you've just wiped out bloody half the clairvoyants and fortune tellers. Sorry about that, you debunked yourself. You know, it's always shite on TV. Yeah.
When they're on TV, they're obviously doing it for money. My auntie doesn't do it for fucking money.
Oh, well, you know why? She's not good enough to do it, that's probably why.
No, excuse me a minute. She's the fucking one of the best in Scotland, so didn't
Yeah. They're all the best. They're all the best at telling fucking tales. And certain people get sucked in.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, listen, I can do it too. If I can get 3 out of 10, I reckon I'm doing pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what they do, hit and miss, cold reading, right?
All right. That's like he's in a college.
What's that got to do with it? Being in a college doesn't mean you're any good or any better. It doesn't mean anything, right? It doesn't justify their cold reading.
Well, it means a lot to her, and it means a lot to people that have this gift and they can't control it. It comes into their life at a certain age, whatever it is, and they're like, oh my God, what's going on with me? I don't know, I'm hearing voices, I'm seeing this, I'm seeing that. And they've got to go in and learn how to shut themselves off from this and just channel into the spirit.
Is your aunt an atheist?
That time. She was trying
to... listen, Amy, in my country, people who hear voices in their head, right, they've got to go see a doctor, right, and then they get put. That's what happens in my country. If they let them run loose in your country, so be it. But in my country, you hear voices, you get yourself straight off to the doctor, okay? There's something wrong, okay? And as far as I heard PhanTom saying before, oh, some dreaming and all this, everybody does dreaming. Everybody has there's 90% of people dream of something or other, and they all say, oh, I dreamt this and I dreamt that, it came true. And, oh, okay, yeah.
Well, sorry to tell you, there are people that are psychic out there, right? And they need help to control their psychic abilities.
Oh, right, so it's running out of control then.
That is where the parapsychology comes in, right? This is where they go and they can learn how to control what they're hearing, what they're seeing.
What university do they go to learn that?
It's not a university, it's a college.
Oh, right, yeah, okay, yeah, so they have to go there to learn how to control the voices in their head.
No.
Really?
The visions and the voices that they hear, yes, because it's spirit talking.
Oh, spirits talking, okay, so there's still people talking to you who don't exist.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, okay, no worries. Yeah. See, you're trying to sell it on to me, and I'm not buying it, and you're getting upset.
I'm not selling you anything.